So across two slides, this and next, this is a summary of the findings for the top 10 brands or OEMs. I use the word OEMs, but these are the top 10 brands. And the response to 12 questions on safety. So this is based on the publicly declared policies which are applicable to the OEMs on factories. So there is a RAG status, which is a red, amber, green. It indicates where the brand stands, with green indicating adherence and red non-adherence. So also the arrows indicate improvement or deterioration. So it's also important to note that our requirements have changed slightly. So that reflects in some of the changes. A 3-year comparison is available towards the end of the report. So I said there are 3 categories. So the first category, which is questions 1 to 3, is about publicly declared policies applicable to the OEM's own factories, like OSH policies, which is occupational safety and health policies, human rights policies. While questions 4 to 8 concerns publicly declared policies for the deeper supply chain. And the questions after that are about publicly declared procedures to ensure safety across the supply chain. So these are those. So as you can see, there has been a consistent upward movement from 2021, which we can see in the table at the end of the report. But what we can see is that there has been an increase in terms of policies, and that's reflected especially on the left of the table. And so these are ranked in order left to right. All 12 questions were considered. And as you can see, TVS and Ashok Leyland continue to be at the bottom of the list this year too. At the same time, like I said, policies, there has been an improvement. But at the same time, procedures, processes for implementing these policies, like mapping the supply chain, audits, monitoring, reporting, these are missing across brands. So that's broadly the summary of the reports. And now moving on to specific policies. So, and we're presenting 6 of the 12 questions here that are indicative of the larger picture. Please refer to chapter 6 of the report for a full picture. As shown here, on brands treating non-permanent or contractual workers at their own factories at par with permanent workers with respect to safety policies, we do not have an improvement from last year, as you can see. And this is important because it impacts a significant percentage of the workforce, with 40% to 70% of the workers in the factories being non-permanent. Then there's also a steady increase in brands publishing their supplier code of conduct or SCOC. This is a priority for SII and was also picked up by SIAM at the launch of the previous SafetyNiti. So as you can see, 9 brands now have the SCOC in the public domain or mention OSH guidelines for the suppliers in publicly available documents. Ashok Leyland is the only exception here. Well, not all is well with respect to policies though. For example, none of the brands appear to have SOP or a comprehensive OSH implementation plan for their deeper supply chain. The same as last year and the year before. Moving on to some indicators on implementation or processes for implementation for worker safety. No OEM has reported on indicator 8.8 of SDG 8 in the legally mandated documents or reports. This indicator of UN Sustainability Development Goals or SDG includes the need for reporting on occupational injuries and compliance with labor rights. This is a requirement as per national and international regulations, and nobody does it. And from SafetyNiti 2021 to now, so we had only 2 brands mapping their tier 1 and tier 2 suppliers, while 8 others had not started. From there to 2023, where we have 4 OEMs having mapped tier 1 and tier 2 suppliers, and 5 others having started mapping suppliers. So there has been a steady progress on this. Mahindra is the only brand that is not declared about mapping suppliers, and none of the OEMs have mapped their tier 3 suppliers yet. And this needs to be done since mapping is a prerequisite to be able to audit, monitor, report, and enforce changes at the suppliers. The expectation here is for a phased implementation, starting with tier 1, followed by 2, 3, and so on. Lastly, most brands haven't declared about reporting on monitoring their tier 1 suppliers. 8 brands not reporting on monitoring tier 1 suppliers. And with tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, so on left, it's a long way to go to ensure responsibility for worker injuries in the supply chain. As mentioned earlier, there were 6 graphs. These are 6 graphs which are indicative of the larger report. Please refer to chapter 6 of the report, which will be available soon for the full picture. And also the last page, the annexure, where you have a comparison across 3 years, if that's helpful.